Lights, camera, action. Hey everybody, this is Annie Ruth, and I am so excited about Conversations with Annie Ruth. My guest today is Christy Demetrakis and Cheryl Edmondson, my awesome sister friends who I am so looking forward to talking to. Oh my goodness, in terms of education and being an author, I've got the best of the best right here with me. I mean, me and Cheryl met on the education trail, and I believe me and Christy met on the faith-based trail, but we might have met before then. Did we meet before then or?
Years ago.
Okay.
Over the phone, but years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Hey, Christy is telling her age, but I but I tapped into that fountain of youth, so I'm just forever young, everybody. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about a couple of pieces of artwork, and I'm loving this because this particular piece, I actually thought of you too when I said, let me discuss this art, because it is called Guard Your Heart. So, oh my goodness, no right or wrong way. I mean, who wants to dive in first of like how that piece impacted you?
I'll go first. When I viewed that piece initially, I sighed because it spoke of how we as women are faced with so many obstacles, so much. We're just everywhere. We're doing everything. We're flipping, we're turning, we're working, we're spinning. We sometimes, we just go. And I'm talking about myself. I don't know about, now maybe the two of you have lesser schedules than I do. So I'm not going to assume that you have this concern as I do, but yes, guarding your heart, protecting yourself, being careful what enters your ear gate, your eye gate.
Okay.
What about the woman whose eyes are closed? Of course, you can protect yourself sometimes when you just close your eyes and exhale and pray because of the forces that we're dealing with, whether demonic, external, internal, our minds. We're trying to protect ourselves on a daily basis from the gossip, from speaking the gossip,
right,
to worse things, from internalizing nonsense, from speaking and spewing it to others when they get on our last nerve, like someone said, wait a minute, what nerve? what nerves? Yeah. But yes, and learning according to Proverbs, Solomon spoke of this, guarding your hearts, your thoughts, even your desires. Okay. And I'll stop there. Okay.
I'm loving that. So in terms of the actual physical imagery, Christy, was there something that stood out to you when you saw that, like the colors or was there anything that stood out?
I saw it completely different, which is the beauty of art, right?
Oh, yeah.
I saw it completely different. I actually thought Mother Earth. When I first saw this, I thought Mother Earth. And I had written that down and, some thoughts around that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But then I said, you know what, let me look up what Mother Earth is. Okay. Why am I seeing it? Because I'm seeing the cotton and, all these types of things. But what I read was Mother Earth is the only place where life can exist. It's the place you were born, where you grow, where you eat. It gives you everything you need. So as I look at this image, I'm seeing this woman who is the source.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I see, is this person who is the source, because the cotton represents the land.
Okay.
I see her as nurturing.
Okay.
She's got, and everything about her is enough.
Okay.
She's got big lips, she's got big eyes, she's got big bosom, she's got big hands. Everything about her is enough. And as you start to, and I don't want to go too deep so you can stop me. But if you start to look at the images where the hands are coming up, and it's all the pulling, right? So that's all the pull that is also on us as women.
Yes.
A lot of time.
Okay.
So that's where I went with it. I wasn't thinking about it as guarding her heart at all. I was thinking about it more of a loving embrace, just embracing this responsibility that she has as a woman.
Good.
That's awesome. I'm glad you noticed the hands kind of at the bottom, kind of pulling at the woman, because this is actually part of my exhibit that is called On Her Shoulders. And it's really about expressing the heart and soul of Black women, what we feel sometimes with, you know, having the weight of the world on our shoulders, and how does that look, processing everything from racism to sexism to every ism, you know.
and that one.
When I zeroed in on the figure, I saw the faces, the ancestors, the voices from the past that spoke to, hang in there, you can make it. I was an example. I didn't do everything right. However, I stood by your side. You're standing on my shoulders, although I'm above your head. You can hear mama's voice. You can hear auntie's voice. You can hear, baby, you can make it. You know, it's gonna be okay. Don't go down that path, because this one is a better one. Listen to your heart.
Yeah.
You know, follow the word. I mean, all of those hidden messages that sometimes you're just driving down the street and something that mama said, something that grandma, what pops in you, and you're refreshed. We're in a period of refresh at church, and those voices are refreshing.
Yes.
Those that have gone on before, those can be refreshing reflections of what to do and how to do, and not to be anxious, but in prayer and supplication. You can, you know, let your requests be made known, and trust God, the Father, the universe, for the answer, because I got you. I got you.
And you know, I'm glad you noticed the ancestors. Sometimes people, when they first glance at it, they don't see the ancestors, or it could be angels, or, you know what I mean? Sometimes people don't zoom in and kind of see. So I tell people, you're bringing as much your perspective to the piece as I am sharing a point of view as the artist. Yeah. Did you, hey, Christy, you mentioned you saw the cotton. One thing about seeing it live, that cotton kind of gives the impression of a crown of thorns, because, you know, cotton is very prickly. Did you all notice the drops on the forehead?
Yes.
I did not. I did not notice that. Yeah, but that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, the drops on the forehead are actually representative of oil. So instead of blood, is representative. Yes.
I love that. It's like the anointing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes. So basically, with that piece, I was saying, yes, guard your heart, guard your anointing. And the other piece too, because I'm very symbolic and multi-dimensional, heart can also represent your loved one, or as a mother, your children. So it's a piece that says also, guard your heart, protect your children.
Yeah, I can, and now that you say protection, I can certainly see the protection, because you can look at that a number of ways, right? She's nurturing. That's one way. You can look at it as protection, which you just called out. And especially when I, again, look at those hands coming up, like, what are those hands trying to do?
Right.
Are they reaching out for help? Are they trying to pull? Like, what is the purpose of these hands from the world? Because that's the other piece, right?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. I love this piece. I'll tell you, Annie Ruth, when you first showed this piece, I was like, oh Lord. Because there's a lot, right? And that's kind of great artwork that is not one dimensional. Right. Which is why we're having this conversation. But the more I look at it, there's so much you can get out of it. But I want to flip the script and ask you a question.
Okay.
The hands, what is the significance of the designs?
It's really not a lot of significance. I was thinking of capturing a print that kind of reminded me of knuckles, but at the same time, not making them knuckles. But the hands almost kind of like a crossover, like, almost like, I just have to be honest with you, when, I don't know if you guys heard this testimony, when my mom passed away, right before she took her last breath, she kind of placed her hands like over her heart, like that, almost like she was being baptized. So I wanted to kind of give a sense of not only protection, but a sense of showing baptism too. So without going into, because you notice I'm not a realism artist, so you won't necessarily find me doing intricate knuckles and fingernails. But I wanted to give that impression of peace, of serenity, kind of tied in there. And one thing also too, the world is white on purpose. It is my statement about, we as Black women have had to be multilingual for so many, I mean, it's forever, for those of us who work in corporate America and in different places, you learn sometimes to, I don't want to say conform, but adapt.
That's the right word. That's the right word. That's the right word, unfortunately.
Adapt very quickly to different surroundings, but at the same token, you have that white world telling you what's good, what's bad. And that's what we've had to fight against, even when it comes to like our hair, our skin texture, stuff like that. So the hands coming out of the white world represents spiritually the world system or the carnalness, but also when you talk about racial conversations, it kind of represents white culture kind of grabbing at you, saying this is the right way, this is the better way, and how she's there's so many things that's very special about her. She's in a beautiful purple garment, so it's just reminding her that she's guarding her royalty, of who she is, and she doesn't have to let down or back off of being proud and of who she is too. Did you all wonder about why was her eyes closed?
I did not wonder about it.
Okay.
But why are her eyes closed?
Well,
I'm glad you asked.
In a lot of the paintings that I do, the closed eye represents seeing spiritually. So seeing spiritually, my natural eyes are closed. I'm not using my natural eyes. And also it signifies reverence or prayer. So that it's, so if you see a piece that I've ever done and the eyes are closed, it's kind of leaning towards that theme. And you asked about the colors too. The yellows, if I'm using the yellows, they're typically indicating spirit. Yeah.
It also exhibits or demonstrates the strong, the wisdom of the woman. That might be, I didn't know if that was a consideration or not, but I thought initially when those eyes were closed that she was guarding what she, what's in front of her. Being prayerful. Always being prayerful, deciding that I'm not going to entertain, this that I won't, this I must, that kind of scenario. That's what I conjured up when I saw those eyes. And she doesn't look stressed. The eyes close to me, she is like, okay, and go in and out of the zone. You know how you have walk in and out of the, yes, just, yes. And from a historical context, I wonder why, of course, I'm looking at the cotton and all of that, but historically, what made you turn this way? What made you project this image with the cotton? What made you do that?
When I saw the cotton, I saw two things. I saw her crown. So I saw not only that crown of thorns, I saw her crown as in her hair, her covering. And I wanted to make sure that the white cotton indicated a little bit of, there's a little bit of agedness there. You know, I definitely wanted to show that it wasn't like, this isn't a 20-year-old woman. This is someone who has a little seasoned.
Yeah.
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 Is there anything else y'all missed? I mean, not y'all missed, but did y'all got that?
Did we miss something?
No, we got it all good. I was at I did a gallery talk at the museum, and one sister, she said it kind of reminded her, some of the lines in there kind of reminded her of the Middle Passage. And so a lot of it, like I said, is what the viewer is bringing with their own perception and perspective to that piece. The other one I want to dive in to is Face Like a Flint.
Yeah, this was deep.
Dive into Face Like a Flint. How'd that one hit you, Christy?
You know what? The first thing that came to my mind on this one is the many faces that a Black woman must show.
Okay.
That's what really struck out to me. And I'll just say all the things that came to my mind, then we can dive. But that was the first thing, is all these different people that we have to be, the many faces. The voices.
Okay.
Like I saw those faces as voices in her ear, how we're always getting, and Cheryl was mentioning it earlier, even on the other one, but all that. So what goes into your ear gates?
Okay.
How many people you let speak into your life?
Yeah.
As I was looking at the earrings, and you know, she had one with a cross and one without. And so I kind of interpreted that as she was not fully committed to her spirituality, but she was really trying to hang on to the culture and her old self.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I saw as I looked at this is her hair. And what does hair represent for people of color?
Okay.
What does our hair represent? Because if we think back to, I think back to myself, different phases of life, my hair looked different.
Right.
You know, now I'm like, look, it just needs to be easy. So that's the phase I'm in.
Oh, yes. I think we all have made it to that stage.
I think we're all kind of there. Yeah. So that's really what struck me about that one.
So what hit you, Cheryl?
Well, the hair straight, but those eyebrows. You know, it's just something about them being in a block. You know, that rectangle, sort of real hard, but then yet culturally, I'm you know, this is the cool thing to do to the brows. They're not arched.
Right.
You know, they're just, I thought that was interesting. Yes, her eyes are open. And I thought about those dots. What those dots? You know, you know, what roads has she traveled? Where is she going? What is she seeing? You know, what her dash will be.
Yeah.
Those dots represent all of these experiences, impressions that are left in her spirit and as a result of the conversation.
Okay.
Family, friend, foe, lover, you know, all of that.
Right.
To be considered, and good, bad, or indifferent, it causes her maybe to make a decision. It might be rash. It might be, and I see dots that have length to them, a little curvature, you know, an experience, something that might have piqued her interest and she delved into it again, or the experience meant something with even more meaning. And then I experiences and living. I'm going to live my best life.
Okay.
I'm not fully committed, but you know, in this world, I have to be more than one thing.
Yeah.
I can't just.
Hey, I didn't take y'all to an in-person art talk where y'all can really break it down. I mean, I cannot imagine that you've never dived into art this way. Is this your first time?
For sure.
Sure. Wait, check this out, ladies. I said I'm going to confess it because you know what? I have nothing to lose. When I first viewed it, I thought I took a quick glance, then I stepped back. Then I did a sink and soak kind of
Mhm.
approach to it, because I
Okay.
said, this has to speak to me. What can I say? I've never done this before. What about the artist? Should I research her? What is her history? What's the span? What should I be looking for? Is she more perspective? Is she more? And I went over the river and through the woods, and I thought, no. Christy, stop. You made it quite clear on Sunday. It's a conversation.
Right, yeah.
It's subjective, and you're allowing me, I'll
Yeah.
speak for myself,
Yeah.
just to express what it is
Mhm.
it says to me.
Right.
I don't
And,
have,
exactly.
you're the artist, but we stand and see this in museums and in art, shows and works and whatnot, and in history books. I wanted to speak to me,
Yeah.
that context, and say, you know what, I see the artist might have done it, but I also see thus and so.
Right. Which actually helps me too, because I that particular woman, I made her as reflective of a sister with a mean mug. That's as close as I could get to a
Yes.
mug.
That's a serious. She looks so unhappy. It's her resting face. We're gonna call it. We're just gonna call it.
Oh,
that.
that's
It's a
good,
resting-
Christy.
yeah,
Her resting
her
face. Yeah.
face. Mhm.
Yeah, so it's a face. I don't know about you all, but for me, my focus to kind of I couldn't look to the right, couldn't look to the left. I had to be focused. And so a lot of times when you're so focused on achieving your goal or doing what you need to do, to others it may appear that you're mean or you're mad or you're sad, but your face is just set like a flint, like a rock. Like I
Mhm.
gotta,
That's good.
I
That's
Mhm.
good.
gotta
That's real good.
People
That's
with
good.
serious
fun.
faces.
I was having fun with the Afro puffs because I put the faces in the Afro puffs.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
It's too
Yes.
funny. Yes, absolutely.
No,
The mean mug, the faces that are in the Afro puffs, as I said, contemporary, but yet there's still something. Those brows, that's a noun thing. That's a contemporary piece.
Mhm.
And what she is seeing and what she's having to deal with, trying to be, I don't know, can you be all things to all people?
You
Even
know,
people.
wow, that's a good question. I just kind of remember being a young woman, and I don't know about you all, I got teased a lot by about the darkness of my skin as a young woman. And so I had just learned to take on that persona of, you mess with me, I'm gonna beat you up.
Did you actually beat people up, Annie Ruth?
I did, yeah.
Really? You got in fights like that?
It's
I'm
another
having fun.
side. I bet nobody. Yeah.
That's right. See, I had to fight my way through.
A whole bunch of
All my life, I had.
All my life. Can't you see?
I watched too many movies. You're
oh
pretty.
my, you know what? Sometimes I had to fight when you wouldn't even thinking a fight was coming your way. I'll never forget. I was in junior high school, and it was a new junior high school. Didn't really know a lot of people, and this girl was stealing dishwasher liquid out of the home ec room, and I was sitting there. I was sitting there looking at her. I was like, oh my! I couldn't believe that. Wow, she's stealing the dishwasher liquid out of the home ec room. So she's like, "What you looking at?"
That's how it starts.
Yeah, buddy.
I can't repeat what she said verbatim. She's like, "What you looking at?" She cussed at me, and I said, "You," and I cussed back at her. And then that's how the fight started. Because I was short. I'm still short, huh?
I can't talk, so you just go on.
I was short and small. Everybody was bigger than me, but I did know how to fight. So I was like, "Damn!" It just took like
real fast, didn't it, Christy? Yeah, she still got it.
I'm just shocked right now. You know what's don't go next to Annie Ruth on a Sunday. Now we know some things.
That's right. Hey, in years to come, this young lady who is exhibiting this hardcore, I'm dealing with this, she's going to be the woman with the cotton, the crown.
Right, yeah.
She's gonna move into that arena, yeah, because time brings about a change, and
It
so
does, you know, it really does.
You know what else I see really quickly is, and Cheryl mentioned the dots, and I'm looking at the dots in her eyes, so on the black part of her eyes, and it makes me think about it now that you talk about, you know, the singular focus, right? She's not looking to the left or the right, no matter all the stuff she's hearing here and there. But I see those lights as almost like starting.
Okay.
ooh,
If she can see this bright future that she has ahead of her,
that's good.
so much so that it's so close she can see it reflected,
Oh,
right? If
yeah.
you think about a runway, think about those runways. What do they have? They have those lights.
right, yeah.
You're looking out, you know, it's about to be showtime because you go out there, the spotlight is on you, which is the bright, that white light you have right in the
Yeah.
spotlight is there. She can see those lights and she's close enough to see it.
Okay.
That's good.
And
That's
so I love that when you talk about singular focus, I'm like, yeah, because you know, when you really are going after something, I mean, really hard, as they say, going hard in the paint,
Right.
you don't see that stuff. You really truly do not see the periphery. You are singularly focused on that goal, and the more you can, the closer you get, and the more you can actually see glimpses of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you really start to focus then.
that's
And
good.
then you get that mean mug face for real.
That's good. And you know what? This young woman with this mean face, the images with the voices, she's getting information one way or the other. The information is going to filter in, good, bad, or indifferent. You're going to decipher what works for you. The rest you throw in the trash.
Yeah.
So, as a woman, young woman, we must not forget that these voices are purposeful. They're going to be in our lives. They're here to stay. You have to decide what you need. You have to be led. Some of those voices, I imagine, give her just the encouragement that she needs.
Yeah.
Other voices, you blow it off. And maybe those are the ones that are on the outside.
Yeah.
You know, the friends, you know, your enemy's supposed to keep closer, but your friends you keep dear, close. Maybe those lighter figures, those voices are the ones that she holds dearer. She listens to, but she's going to get a lot. She's going to hear a lot. It's going to be always going, and she has to stay focused.
Yes. Focus.
And keep, the light at the end of my tunnel is going to be, my future is, and the thoughts, her feelings. I know what I'm hearing, I know what I see in the world, but I still, to me, that's eyes wide open. That's my dream.
Yeah.
I'm dreaming the actions are going to occur. I'm dreaming I'm going to see the effects. I know the effects others have on me, but I am going to react in this way. My character trait, I have to look hard. I have to be this way because the world around me challenges me. When Annie said, the world challenges you to go there with them, even though you don't want to. But here, let me help you. Boom. Now, shut your mouth so I can keep.
You know, if we dig a little deeper, Cheryl might have gotten into some fights too, because she does that awfully well.
I've had one fight in my life. One fight. I have always been a peacemaker. One fight. So don't,
You don't receive that. She's like, I do not receive it.
I'm a southpaw, but I don't even have a southpaw kind of hit, but I can make the noise.
You do. You made the noise well. You did. The other thing I'll mention here, so I want to go back to these earrings again.
Oh, yes.
Because as we talk about, again, and I'm curious as to what you meant with the two different earrings, but I'd like to think that the earring with the cross on it, which is I'm associated with her spirituality. The other one I'm associating with her lifestyle, whatever that is. But I see that this collar matches the spirituality pattern. And so my hope is, as I'm looking at this, is that that's the part that's really going to rise up and really develop in her.
Yeah.
That she has more of the spirituality than the world, because it's almost taken over, right?
Right.
You got it here, you got the earring, you just got this one side just kind of hanging on over here that you haven't figured out or want to let go yet.
Yeah.
But what's the significance?
You know what? I did the earrings in that style because in the early 2000s, life hit me with a really hard trial where I had developed my own personal reminder of who I am in Christ. And so I start wearing a small earring on one side and I start wearing a long dangling earring on the other side. It was almost like a shield on one side. So that's where the differences of the earring came. That shield that was dangling, or that cross that you see dangling, is her reminder to her of who she is. You know what I mean? So I think even as Black women, and we're faced with all the different difficulties that come at us, there has to be something to remind us of who we are. Yeah.
Always something there to remind me. Yeah.
Hey, do you think of a song every time you like?
I do it constantly. Sometimes I just get just enough. I do it in the pulpit too, and it's like, Cheryl, that is not pulpit etiquette. To get there and do Christy, stop. Yes, get there and do that. But it comes on me, and even in the middle of the night, and it feels that way. But I want to go back to one thing.
Okay.
The corner of the eye of the illuminated ear, the hair balls, the puffs closest to her eyes. You see, those lights are bright. And so that's why I believe that those voices encourage, build, lift, push, and say, baby, you can make it. So young people, even a young person who sometimes is like, what do I do? How do I make it in this world?
Right.
What's going on? I just don't know. I want to give up. I'm tired. I'm tapping out. Those voices closest. They have voices that they listen to. Yeah. And we just hope that they're the voices that will build and strengthen character, the traits that they already have, within. And so I just wanted to go back to that because
this is so awesome. And honestly, our conversation is really a mirror of what I see the art collection doing. It's meant to be a catalyst for conversations to occur, for on many different levels. And the great thing about art is the conversations can go as deep or as surface as you want them to, like give examples. Say I'm in a group at 2020 and I'm talking about the mean mug, then we can have some conversation, so, and we can, at the same token, we can use the artwork for a piece in a Bible study class. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
Wow. So did you all see the multi layers of themes that resonated throughout the pieces?
Yeah. And the more you look at them, the more they come to the surface.
Okay.
And so that's why this conversation, this format is fantastic, because it does spark thought. You come with your own perspective.
Right.
But again, that's why art is art, because once you hear somebody else's perspective, you go, didn't see that.
Right.
You said it. I absolutely can see that. Or no, I didn't see that at all. Right.
Well, art does many things. Truly, it does. Looking and comprehending the art and talking about it helps us to not only just view the piece, but identify and maybe go into a critical thinking. Well, it could be. And maybe the perspective. And then once we hear the artist's take, it helps unlock the meaning of the piece and the work, the beauty behind the work. Yeah. And it's really this is a beautiful format. And I'm quite comfortable. I thought, but exhale.
Right.
But how fulfilling must it be? Because creativity in this format I'm not creative in this way.
Right.
My mother-in-law is fantastic at this stuff. But how fulfilling that must be as an artist, though, to create something that is discussion worthy. Right? Because that's the thing. I could draw you a house.
Right.
Look back. It'd be 4 walls. Like, it's a house, but that's all. Don't ask for a roof. Don't ask for all that stuff. No shingles, none of that. But that has to be very fulfilling. If I were an artist and I were that creative in that way, I would want to create something with layers.
Yeah.
That people can look at it and go, or hold on. You know what? I didn't even see. She saw those angels. I didn't even see the angels.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
But that's the part, I think, as I'm outside looking in and thinking about it from your perspective, that has to be a great feeling to be able to hear people give their perspectives, because you may not have even meant it to be that way.
Yes, that's true. You know what? Amazingly enough, I learned in the early 90s, and it's so funny, I have to tell you a story. There was a piece that I did, created, called 4 Eggs in a Basket. And it was my way of teaching perception and perspective to, elementary school students and high schoolers. Like, I would say, look at the artwork, no right or wrong answer. And so, with the older audience, I got things they kind of honed in on the kente print. I got things about that. Well, with the younger preschoolers and kindergartners, they were like, "Oh, Miss Annie Ruth, we see an ice cream cone." And as I then again looked at something that I created, I didn't intentionally put the ice cream cone in there, but I could see their perspective of, there's ice cream cone. All right, ladies, this has been a really great conversation. We're going to have more of these, and probably even some art classes along the way. I'm promising I'm going to reel y'all in for some art classes with the lamps and maybe collage and all kind of stuff. But I want to thank you for joining me this evening on Conversations with Annie Ruth. I mean, that's what it's all about, using the artwork as a springboard to really connect and build more connectivity. Are there any parting words you all want to say to the audience, the viewing audience?
I will just say, you know what, if art is not anything you've ever really explored, be open. Open your mind to it. And, every type, there's so many different types of art. I had actually never really seen a lot of your work, Annie Ruth, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the layers. As I said earlier, I love the layers of it and the fact that there's so much that you can take away from it. So I am thankful for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. And Cheryl?
I too am very, very thankful for this opportunity to unlock those meanings. I'm going to look at pieces just a little bit differently now that I've had this opportunity, this talk. I look forward to participating in a different manner in somewhere down the road. So thank you again, Annie Ruth, for sharing yourself with us. And being that light that we need.
You are so welcome. Now, I have a tradition, and typically when I speak somewhere or share, I tell people to kind of raise their hands up in the air. All right, I'm gonna blow you guys a kiss, and y'all gotta catch it. Okay, here comes the kiss. You gotta catch the kiss. You gotta rub it in.
Ooh.
Yes.
I love it.
Wonderful.
This is back to you.